competitive, and it's like your old games, Greggles, with Steelers and the Ravens. If it ends 9-3, who cares if it's been a real battle? Someone's been crossed off.
But we have 6 of those a season. That's the problem. All the divisional games are like that.
Yeah. But, of course, you're going to have to put up with Harry Bryant's number 1 pick, the Browns' defense this year.
Yeah, that's good.
That kind of nicely, nicely segues into the actual subjects to be discussed on the podcast, and that's predictions.
Yeah, which I have got in front of me in a very impressive-looking Excel spreadsheet.
I love the font.
Well, it's almost like I use Arial Narrow just to avoid having to widen the columns.
It's almost like my Packers spreadsheet, this.
Yeah, less green, though.
Yeah, but you wait until it's finished and all colour coordinated.
So I've got mine all here.
Do we want to do it in a particular order, or...?
Well, we'll go top to bottom on these, I think.
AFC East.
So we start off with our predictions of who is going to win the AFC East. So we've got Bills, Dolphins, Jets, Patriots. What do we think is going to happen here?
So,
you want to go, Edgy?
Well, obviously, I'm taking the approach where I don't. Any of my opinions here, I've sort of hastily arrived at in the last sort of 48 hours by just reading shit. But I've got
a lovely bunch of coconuts.
Yes, I've actually got the Jets winning the division.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
very brave.
Well, if
Jets winning anything's always a brave call,
and that's what's sort of come out of the from what I've read. But this year it does seem as though they've probably got their best roster in a generation. Would you say that's fair to say?
I picked their defense for my fantasy team because I think they got one of the best defenses, and they had one of the best defenses last year. What they were missing last year was a quarterback.
Yeah. And, do we think that he's going to finish the entire season?
That's going to be the key, isn't it?
It depends, because he hasn't had an injury to his arm, so it's not going to be like Roethlisberger where he suddenly couldn't throw the ball anymore. Rodgers' arm is still one of the best around. Even in the last few years at Green Bay, he wasn't moving that much outside the pocket. I reckon if they can protect him, give him the opportunity to throw, he's still one of the best passing quarterbacks around. I've also gone for the Jets, by the way.
Oh, excellent. That makes me feel better.
I reckon make me feel better as well.
Sooner or later, the Jets, something's going to go right for the Jets.
Well, they've got to, haven't they? Yeah.
Well, were you two going for the Jets? Of course, I've gone for the Dolphins.
I see the way this is going to pan out.
It's interesting that no one's gone for the Bills.
The Bills, yeah.
Given how dominant they've been in that division recently.
Yeah. And the reason why the Bills, in my eyes, will not win this season's, next season's, or the seasons after is Josh Allen.
Well, so you think the reason they don't win the league is because of Josh Allen?
Yes, and the reason why that is, he's getting paid far too much for. And you put it. You said he's a good quarterback. I'm not disputing he's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but he's not an elite quarterback. But I think he's a good quarterback demanding a hell of a lot of money, which takes other resources. It's just like Diggs has gone. You can't pay everybody. And I think, you've got a good quarterback, but I think you're a bit short in about 3 or 4 positions.
AFC North.
Okay, so the AFC North, let's call it the bastard division.
Yes.
Bengals, Browns, Ravens, and the best team in football, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Can I just say, this is a good division, isn't it? It's a hard-fought division.
It's the strongest division, and it's been the strongest division for fucking ages.
I've got all 4 of them not being under winning 500, so that they're all going to have a winning record.
That happened 2 years ago.
Right,
I think they all won at least 9, which shows how good they are against the rest of the football, but they're all beating each other.
They do beat each other, you're right.
Well, I've got the Ravens to win it, and then it was a coin toss for me between Bengals and Steelers, but I put the Bengals in second to make the playoffs. Steelers just miss out. Sorry, Greggles.
Let's see where Greggles Ed and Hart moments here for Greggles. We're all waiting. Russell Wilson being named the number one starting.
Well, we'll come to Russell Wilson when we have to discuss the MVP. But
it's good to rule them out quickly. Yeah.
But I'm going for the Bengals to win. The logic I'm using there is Joe Burrow's had one full season where he stayed fit. He got the Bengals to a Super Bowl. And I think if they've got a top quality quarterback, everything else is there in that team. And I think they're a better all-round team than the Ravens, who've lost a bit due to Lamar's contract. They've had to let a few players go. Yeah. So I think the Bengals are a stronger overall team. If Burrow stays fit, I think they'll possibly be AFC champions.
For me, I put the fact that, and again, I've only got this off a website, so tell me if I'm wrong. In the last 5 years, they've only got 10 wins or more once.
Yeah, so I've gone for the Ravens as well. And the reason for that is I think Lamar can remain healthy all season thanks to Derrick Henry. I don't think he needs to come outside and run as much as he does do. I think he can still pose the element of surprise of keeping it on the run play option. He can keep it and give it Henry. It's his choice. He's played that so many times. I think with Henry, will they put so the concept now is with Henry, you're facing Henry, the defense have now got to think, hold on, are we going to push another safety up? Are we going to play 8 in the box to stop the run game? They'll set off, I think, playing quite a hard-hitting game, like a hard smash mouth football to get Henry into the game. But of course, he's not always fit all the time. That's the problem with Derrick Henry.
Increasingly so.
Yeah, exactly that. So it's a case of, will he get injured? So I think they'll use him as a battering ram. Then the play action comes. Then that's when you've got your tight end, Mark Andrew will come into it. Lamar can run. I think they've got a very good offense, and I think they've just got enough to win that division. Playoff-wise,
do you think those 3 O-line changes will have massive, a big effect?
Yeah, I do, and I think that's where they've got to play smart football as well. Know where they can't run, and they'll know they've got some weakness there, and they'll line up. I don't even think their front 5 will line up necessarily all in the same place all the time. I think they'll go against the best players of the other team. I think they'll interchange it. They've already been saying that they might interchange it, but they need protection for that. But I think once you get Henry, if he goes early and Lamar can get going early, I think it takes it off Lamar for running and getting injured. For Ravens to win this, he needs to play every single game.
AFC South.
Edgy's division.
Yes.
The AFC South.
A decent upcoming division, this one, Greg.
Colts, Jags, Texans, Titans.
Good division. Exciting division, this. Exciting division.
I can see this one being tight.
Yeah.
I think we're all in agreement the Titans are going to be bottom. So then it leaves you the 3, Texans, Colts and the Jags, which... I've got pretty much, there's a game between them all, but I've got the Texans winning it just because I've lauded the Texans so much. It could be a coin flip between any 3 of them for me. The Jags probably just drop out of the reckoning because I'm not convinced Lawrence is consistent enough. He's got his new contract now, so whether that gives him a little bit of... I suppose there's an argument to say it spurs him on, but it could also say, well, I've got my contract now, fuck him. So I don't know. But for me, Texans with Stroud, if he's replicating the form from last season, with the receivers he's got, Collins and Tank Dell, I think they should blow it apart.
Yeah, I think a good team.
I agree pretty much everything you say there, but I think the potential curveball here is the Colts and Anthony Richardson. No one really knows how good he's going to be.
No. You know how good he could be.
Yeah, and the Colts did okay last year. They weren't a shambles without him last year. So I don't think they're a bad team at all. They've obviously got a fantastic running back, but I think they're okay. I think they're a good team, and if Richardson again can stay fit, or even if he plays 14, I think they could at least get into a wildcard or at least push the Texans. I agree the Texans, but I can see the Colts pushing them.
I'm just going to add, I've gone for the Texans as well as what we've all just discussed. I can't add to that.
That's a clean sweep, all three.
Yeah.
There you go, first clean sweep. So one thing that we know is going to happen, Texans won't win their division.
Titans.
Titans.
NFC East.
NFC East, Daz. This one's got your Commanders in it. Everyone's least favourite team, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Giants.
I'm going to go again with my head on this one, and it's got to be the Eagles to lose, I think, again. But it'd be interesting to see how the Eagles start the season. I don't know how they finished last season.
Yeah, it was such a weird collapse.
And they seem to have got rid of the wrong person, which made no sense as well.
They got rid of the DC and OC, didn't they? So
should it have been their coach? Everyone seems to think so.
We may come on to that.
No, we're made. We're made. So I think the addition of Saquon Barkley, massive. He's such a good player. I love Saquon Barkley, and I hate saying that. If he was going to get traded, I wish it was out of the division, but we're going to have to face him again 2 times. And I think, I think they're winning comfortably as well. I don't think there's a team that challenges them in NFC East.
And is this the league where nobody's won it back to back since about the turn of the year? Or something, turn of the season, turn of the century, sorry. So that would...
It's a strange one. We won it about 3 years ago. I think we finished on a record of 7 and 9 or something like that.
Yeah, there were 2 years out of 3 where the team won that with a losing record, I think.
Shocking.
I've also gone with the Eagles to win it, but it was obviously close with the Cowboys, but just couldn't put them top. As everybody knows, the Cowboys are the king of the regular and the clowns of the playoffs. But with the addition, and here's a question: so the Eagles play their first match on Friday in Brazil. Do these away legs? Do they sort of take it out of you? Do they have any impact on the season? Do you think? Because the Jags, they were in London last year. Well, they're always in London, and when they came back, they couldn't buy a win, could they?
No, I mean they clearly have an effect, but the way the traveling's done now, it's not that bad from America to Brazil. It's straight down, isn't it? It's not like you're in a massive time difference or anything like that. So I don't think it will have an effect in that respect. But also, same for both teams, isn't it? 17 games now, so the teams who do play at home in these international games, that it's not like they're losing out on a home game that they used to in 16 game seasons. So
it's like 17 games there, you said, and I think in not too distant future, maybe 2 years, 18 games.
Yeah. And every team will have a international game.
International pick. I can see that's the way it's going to go. As for the Super Bowl being played abroad, I can't ever see that being ever done.
Nah, they'd never let that go, would they?
FA Cup going abroad, it's not going to do that, surely.
No chance.
NFC North.
Well, what we do have then is another clean sweep. That's 3 clean sweeps in a row. We all think AFC South is Texans. We all think AFC West is Chiefs. We all think NFC East is the Eagles.
Yes. All right, let's get a bit of needle in it then and go to the NFC North.
NFC North, I can see this being
We're
a
not
clean
going to be
sweep.
matched. Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, I think so. But
who did you go for, sorry?
I've gone for the Giants. Sorry, not the Giants.
Giants. Bloody hell. It's not 1998.
I'll tell you what, I reckon the Giants are going to shock everyone and win the NFC North. That's what's going to happen. Now, the Lions. I've gone for the Lions. I think they were a whisker away from Super Bowl last year and deservedly so. I thought they were the second best team in the NFC last year. I don't see a lot of weakness in that team. The only thing they've got going against them is there's another NFC team who I think are better. And I think the Lions will win the NFC North, and I think they'll get to the championship game again.
It's not a clean sweep. Sorry.
Ooh.
Packers
for me. And I've got it again. It's very close. There's one win between the Lions and the Packers, but
have you gone all the way through the season and got the win-loss for every team?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I've done that as well.
I'm just going by gut instinct.
Well, this isn't just thrown together. This is planning. It also helped because I've had this week off.
I spent too much time on the spreadsheet. I didn't have enough time to research it properly.
It's helped that I've had this week off as well, so I've been able to.
And this is why Edgy's going for the job of New York Giants.
Exactly. Yeah. But Packers, not a lot of disruption in the roster. Jordan Love ended the season superbly. He carries that on. I think it's the youngest average age team to get a playoff win, all now a year older. I just think that don't get me wrong, Lions are a superb team. I like to go for the upset, and I think Green Bay just shade it. This
is the hardest one for me, this division. Actually, the next one is as well. But this one, I knew one of you got Lions because I thought the Lions. Then I thought, but Green Bay, they played well last season. Like you said, it was a young team, but they're a year older, but a year wiser, a year more experience. And on that basis, I've gone for the Bears.
I knew you were going to go with the Bears. So you think Williams will do the trick, do you think?
Do you know what I've got the Bears as?
I've
got the Bears as the new old Chiefs when they started slinging ball around.
I can see it.
It's all very dependent on how he does. And
look
at his targets he's got. Oh my God!
Yeah,
they're all there.
The Bears have done this the right way. I talked about before that I thought if Fields was still there, that he'd be going into a decent situation this year. Yeah. But their defense has improved for the last couple of years. It's actually one of I think it's probably around the 10th best for
they're traded for Montez Sweat. Yeah, they're traded for Montez Sweat from us last year, and since it went to Bears, it's just changed their front line. Just him on his own.
NFC South.
I hate this next division, by the way. I can't stand this division.
And that's not because it's so top quality and it's difficult to work out which one of these top quality teams is going to win it.
Well, we're all going to be in agreement who's at the bottom.
Yeah.
I think so. They've been bad for a while, haven't they? And that to have the opportunity of the number one pick and already have traded it away, that must fucking hurt.
Again, there's a new offensive coordinator there, was it a new head coach, which allegedly is going to sort of potentially bring more out of Bryce Young, but
yeah, first things first, he's coming there to stop the rot, and they're going to do. I think they need to do a Bears thing here. They want to stop spending stupid trade commodities and for players, because we're going to have to get it through free agency sensibly, trade sensibly. Look for players that are available who want to go. And the problem is now, who wants to go to Panthers? It's that sort of thing that, I don't want to go to Panthers. They've got to build it. That's going to take about 3-4 years before they're going to really shoot.
Yeah, I think they need to do what the Broncos do, because the Broncos have kind of gone, right, we need to clear house. And they've kind of done it. And I think they will struggle this season, but I don't think they'll be as bad as the Panthers. And they kind of acknowledge the situation they're in, I think. So I think the Panthers could have done what they've done, but they haven't, and they're going to be bad for a few years, I think.
So winners then?
For me, I reckon the Falcons.
Really? Okay.
I think they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. I reckon there could be a lot of high-scoring games this year involving the Falcons. But in any other division, I wouldn't give them a chance. I think this is a bad division. I reckon all of those teams, again, I reckon this could be a case of the division winners having a losing record.
I've got Kirk Cousins, if he stays fit, winning 12 games.
Wow, okay.
And Falcons are mine as well.
Well, I've gone for 4 in a row for the Bucks.
See, the Bucks have been better than a lot of people thought they would.
Team, aren't they?
They are, but that's a mediocre division.
Yeah,
exactly. And you don't need to be stellar to win it. And I think Mayfield, there's a good...
It's all right. He's good.
Yeah, he's consistent.
He's an above-average quarterback.
Absolutely, and sometimes that's just what you need to get over the line. And again, as we've said in this division, probably even more so, he's consistent. There's a good age range of players, bit of youth, bit of experience. The Falcons, I don't know. I just never liked Kirk Cousins, whether he's got 180 million or not.
I always thought that he's... for big parts of the season, he'll be one of the best quarterbacks, but he will fuck up.
He's a Dak Prescott in disguise.
Well, he's not. He's kind of a Dak Prescott, but he does it earlier. He'll do a Dak Prescott during the regular season as well. And he'll have 10 great games and 7 shit ones if he plays the whole season.
Yeah.
The other notes I've got is that they've got a few defensive concerns. I haven't put why, which is really helpful right now. And they've got a poor pass rush, so he's going to get battered.
In the draft, and I hate going back to it, the Falcons are the 8th pick, and they took a quarterback they didn't need. It's one of the most ludicrous things I've ever seen. I still don't get it. And it's such a waste. Like if you're going to draft a backup quarterback, don't draft it at 8 overall in a pretty stacked draft. When you need defensive players, by the way, at this point, they 7 picks gone. They have their choice of any defensive player, and they choose a backup quarterback. It's one of the most baffling things I've ever seen.
Anything to say about the Saints?
NFC West.
Right, last one.
Again, this will be an interesting one.
Well, this is a clean sweep, surely.
Yeah.
I think the 49ers have got the strongest roster in the NFL. And
agreed.
I think they will win this quite comfortably. Although I also think I said that the 2 NFC North teams will qualify for the wildcards. The other one who will are the Rams.
Correct. Same for me.
But the 49ers will romp home in that division.
Yeah. How can you go against that? You can't go against that.
Trent signed today as well, didn't he?
He has, yeah.
It's like the two the last 2 weeks they've gone from already being one of the best teams, and they've re-signed like Ayuk and Williams, and fuck's sake,
massive.
They're such a strong team.
Yeah, Ayuk I'm not too bothered about because there's way better players than Ayuk, but they've got everything there. McCaffrey's obviously on fire. Williams, I think he'll play. He could play until he's 50 and still be one of the best left tackles.
Yeah.
The question for 49ers, we're coming into Purdy's last year of his contract. Okay, next year he's going to get paid, and they've already said he's going to get paid a lot. He's going to get paid a lot of money, especially if they're going to go out and do another good performance and get to the Super Bowl, and whether they win it or not. So he's going to get paid out. Now, I don't know the contract situation at 49ers, who's out of contract this season, but they do have a lot of stars on both sides of the ball. So that could be interesting when it comes to contract renewals. But for this season, 49ers is going to be the team, I think, to beat.
Last team to discuss then, Rams. I like Matt Stafford, particularly as he dug me out of a hole in fantasy last year.
They got Cup, they got
Nakua.
Again, I think in terms of watchability, NFC West is going to be fantastic because 49ers, Cardinals, and Rams are all going to be good. And yeah, the Rams are. I can see them just outscoring teams. And
it's 49ers for me who wins that. Then it's just a battle between Rams and.
I got the Rams. The Rams.
Second half of last year, Rams I think were very good. They got to the playoffs, of course, the Rams. So no one really saw that coming.
No,
I've got them making the playoffs again, but they just seem to have good fits everywhere. Williams as well as the running back. No one saw that happening. I think
he was so good last year.
Yeah. So
it took them a few weeks to go. So probably about mid-season, they were still like an all-right team. But second half of the season, I think they finished something like 6-2, something like that in their last half of the season. So
just to point out, Aaron Donald's now retired.
Yeah,
it's a huge.
It is. How do you fill those shoes?
You don't. It's simple as that. All you do is you try your best. Don't you?
Yeah. He was getting double teamed, triple teamed at times. And now everyone will just go back man on man because he's Aaron Donald. That's how good he was.
No, so you just have to see how they do it. They'll change it, and then you just have to wait and see. Big it could be a case of takes half a season for them to work out the new plays. But yeah, you can't replace it. It's impossible. I mean, like the 49ers trying to replace Trent Williams. You can't do it.
You can't. It's hold on. No, it's like Washington trying to replace Trent Williams. We'd never have.
Yeah.
Overachiever.
Right, so shall we move on to the next predictions?
Okay.
We've got overachiever.
Right, I have overachiever and underachiever. They can be players, or they can be teams, or they can be whatever.
So overachiever is somebody that's not particularly well regarded, but is going to have a breakout year almost.
Yeah, so someone who just does better than anyone thinks.
Interesting. Okay.
I've got a team for this.
We'll go on then.
Okay.
Are you ready for this? We've talked about them. We've dissed them. Carolina Panthers to win 6 games.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's overachieving. If they win 6 games, 7 games, that's overachieving.
I think if they win 3, it might be overachieving.
Yeah,
I've got them as 5, so...
So 6 is overachieving.
Yeah.
I think that's a good season for them. If they can get 6 wins this season, I think that's a great season.
If they can get 6 wins, there's a chance they don't finish bottom of their
they won't.
division.
Yeah.
But, I mean, will they want their pick back? Will they want their number 1 pick?
Who can you see who's going to be worse than the Panthers?
We might come to that in a second.
Patriots for me.
Yeah. I'm just butting in here, Greg. I do apologise. Sorry, everyone else, but that's my Panthers.
Okay, better. So overachiever. I've gone for a player, and it's a player at a team I don't think are going to do as badly as a lot of people expect, and it's Tennessee Titans quarterback Will Levis.
Yeah,
okay.
I like the look of him as a QB. I thought he was pretty good last year in a quite bad team, but he puts up really good numbers in quite a bad side, and he did that pretty remarkable comeback in one of his first starts at the Dolphins last year. And I remember thinking maybe he's got something. So I think the Titans won't make the playoffs, but I think that for them to be written off as one of the worst teams in the NFL, I think they can win maybe like 7. So I reckon that's going to be a really tight division, I think. But they'll finish probably bottom of it, but I think they'll have a much better record than a lot of people think, and he'll be the reason for it. And I think he will be definitely like a top half quarterback, I think.
And of course, he's got a jeans brand named after him as well. But Edgy,
Go. And mayonnaise.
yeah.
I'm going to go with a quarterback as well. I'm going Bryce Young, and probably
more Panthers.
Wow.
Exactly, yeah. And it kind of links into what Dad says, but I think that they're not going to do as bad as everybody. There's some results I've seen where they're not predicted to get more than 3 wins. I don't think that's probable, but I think he's got a lot of expectation from last season, which obviously he didn't live up to. It's another. He's got a season in his legs, as it were, with new coach to sort of bring the best out of him.
Yeah.
Few more assets to go. I think he could surprise a lot of people because at the moment he's not being talked about at all. So
that's good. Pressure's off him.
Exactly that.
Underachiever.
Underachiever. Again, could be a team, could be a player.
Who's going first?
I'll go first. I don't mind.
Thank you.
I didn't bring it up. Didn't bring them up in the AFC South discussion where I've talked about it might be close between the Colts and the Texans, and I say the Titans are going to be better than most people think. I think the Jags are going to have a bad season. Most people seem to think it's between them and the Texans to win the division. I think the Jags are going to finish 4th in that division.
I've got them down as 3rd.
And me too. 9 wins.
I've got them down as 6.
I was going to go with...
Mine's a team this time, again.
Well, you go then if you've got yours.
Okay, then. So I don't even know if it's going to be a surprise or not when I say this team. But compared to the name and the players they've got, I think you're going to say, oh, it's obvious they're going to underachieve because they don't have a quarterback now, and that's the Vikings. But they still have Jefferson. And when Kirk Cousins obviously was injured, he was still pulling in good numbers, and Jefferson were coming off an injury. Himself, I think it was an hamstring, I think it was, or some sort of strain, and he was still, bringing them in. I just don't think they've got it either side of the ball anymore. I think he stands out as being the best player, and Vikings, I think, will struggle. And I've got the Vikings down as the last in that division.
So have I. But I don't think that's that much of a surprise, bearing in mind the 3 of us predicted the Lions, Bears, and Packers to win it. So, I think the Vikings will struggle as well. But I don't think I wouldn't be that surprised that they're going to struggle.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was a bit of an iffy one, but I think they'll be in bottom 5 overall.
Yeah, I can kind of say that as well.
I am going to go with the Bills because I don't share I think you had them winning the league, the division, didn't you? The pair of you.
What,
no, none
absolutely
of us.
not. No.
I got Jets, Dolphins. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. So, the Bills, they had a lot of outgoings to affect, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on Josh Allen to carry it. I just don't think that they're going to have the same sort of season that they had last season. Everybody's probably expecting too much from Josh Allen. I think he's going to have a nightmare.
Best and worst record.
For me, it's a tie for best record with 49ers, Ravens, and the Chiefs, 12-5.
I think the 49ers will get 13-14, so I've gone 49ers. Oh, you need to choose one now, Edgy, by the way. You can't...
I've got to choose one of the 3, right? Okay. I'll go... Who did you say, the 49ers?
Yeah.
I'll go with the Chiefs then.
Okay.
So you've gone for Chiefs, Edgy, eh? Mm-hmm. Who have you've gone for 49ers, Greggles?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I went Chiefs as well, but that's an easy one, isn't it? That's what I do think, Chiefs, but I think up there... Shall I go for it?
Go on.
I'm going to go for it. I'm going to say Eagles.
Okay.
Good call.
Eagles.
I'll get in early then. Worst
Worst.
record, Pats. Thank you.
You've been dying to get that in for how long?
Yeah, 4 wins.
I think
And that's generous.
I think 2 wins.
Yeah.
I've looked at their division. I see them going 0-6 in the division. I can't see where they get many wins from.
Say many or any.
Many.
Yeah.
But it could be that there'll be a couple of games that are just defensive battles and they end up sneaking with a field goal or something like that. But they're starting with Jacoby Brissett, quarterback. I mean, if Gardner Minshew is like a born backup, then what the fuck's Jacoby Brissett? He shouldn't be starting in the NFL. If he's just there for a few games until Drake May comes in,
And he will.
fair enough. And he will at some point. But who the fuck's Drake May going to throw to? What kind of protection is Drake May going to have? I don't see anything good about the Patriots.
And I think that's what you've just said. You've nailed it there. I think this is why he's not starting. They want to see how the offensive line works or doesn't work. And there's no point throwing a rookie in and it all goes to shit. So they're going to put Jacoby Brissett as a sacrificial lamb. Once he gets carted off, May's going to be brought on.
Operation Human Target is.
I think their first 5 fixtures are the Bengals, the Seahawks, the Jets, the 49ers, and the Dolphins.
Ouch.
That's got to hurt, surely.
1 win if they're lucky out of that.
Who?
Seahawks maybe could be the defensive battle that
Patriots
I
are
mentioned.
at home for that one, so.
First coach fired.
First coach fired. Right, I'm going to lead you this one because I've written a name and I've written no context, and I did this 2 days ago, so I can't remember why, but it's Dennis Allen.
Okay.
Who's Dennis Allen?
Why did you go for Dennis Allen?
I've not written any notes down.
I want to see you try to remember who Dennis Allen is.
Is it the Saints?
How did you get Dennis Allen as a name? How did you just come across? Oh, I'll tell you what. I wonder if there's a guy called Dennis Allen.
No, I've obviously, read a few sites and whatnot. And normally what I've done is gone back and then added context and notes, but I've not done it on this one. So, is it the Saints? I'm going to have to Google it.
What you get is you get the teams. There's 2 ways of looking at the first coach fired. One is someone who's at a shit team who fires their coach, even though it's not really their fault. But also you'll get the ones with bigger expectations who don't live up to them, and then that's why they fire the coach.
Right.
So it's the best way to be secure in your job, I reckon, at the start of the season is to be in a middling team. Right. So Daz, who are you going for?
Oh, our good friend, Mike McCarthy. The Dallas head coach. Most people said he should have gone last season. Same a bit like Nick's another a good one for the Eagles, because if they carry on like they did end of last season, he'll go as well. They can't do that again, can they? But I think Jerry Jones, being Jerry Jones, he's our man. We're going to stick by him, and I think Mike McCarthy, after about 8 games, will be in big trouble.
I'm going for Nick Sirianni.
Yeah. He'll be up there.
I'm surprised he didn't go last year. And if the Eagles have even a slightly iffy start, I can see him going. They've changed everyone else there, so
That's the weird bit, isn't it? How come they change everyone else,
but not a head
but
coach?
not their coach? They literally fell off a cliff.
Yeah, it was a very weird end of the season. It made sense when the Jags finished 1-6. Everyone goes, "Yes, fucking Jags." But when the Eagles did it, from 11-1, 10-1 and they finished with 1-6, didn't they? And also then they lost in the World Cup. That came out of nowhere. And
Yeah.
after week 11, week 12, whatever, they were the best team in the NFL. And it just went. It was so odd.
Rookie of the Year.
Okay, Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year.
I've gone a bit left field on this one.
Oh,
But I have put some thought into it.
go on.
And it's interesting, particularly when the Bills are mentioned as the underachiever. I looked at what their wide receiver options are, and they took a wide receiver called Keon Coleman,
Okay, yeah.
and he could go from rookie to WR1 because I don't think there's that much competition at wide receiver for them. So with a decent, accurate quarterback, which he's got, regardless of what Dazzla thinks, I can see him actually I can see him racking up quite a lot of yards and actually being a main offensive weapon for the Bills. Regardless of how well I think the Bills will do, I can see Keon Coleman having a really good record for a wide receiver in a very deep wide receiver draft as well. Because a lot of the other ones are going to places where they might not get targeted as much. I can see him getting targeted a lot there.
I think it's a good shape because obviously they've lost Diggs. I thought
Dave Davis.
we were slowing down, I think, last season anyway. But when you look at their wide receivers, and it's not special. I know we decided not to renew Curtis Samuel's contract at Washington. He's gone over there, and he's all right as a third.
I mean, if you look at those, who's their WR1?
Who's their number one there?
I reckon it's going to be Keon Coleman within a few weeks, if it's not already.
Yeah, it's got to be, hasn't it? Rest of them, meh. And it is a meh.
It kind of is. So you could well be that he gets a lot of targets, and he gets a lot of targets if you get a lot of yards. That's my thinking on that.
I do think the Bills will set up with maybe a lot of double tight end players as well, because they've got Kincaid and they've got Dawson Knox, two good tight ends.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good, that's well researched, that, because I think looking at him, he really could be, because he's still got a great arm as Josh Allen. Yeah, Keon Coleman could be a great shout. That could really be a good shout. Actually, impressed. You've done some research once.
I ran out of time to do any other research after I did that one.
You're going down in alphabetical order. Bill's up one at first. Coleman, we'll go for him.
Right, from over-researching, we'll go to no research at all. Daz, who are you going for?
Well, this ties in with my pick for the North, NFC North, and Caleb Williams. Everyone says, "Oh, is it?"
It's an easy shout, though.
It's
an
easy shout, but I think he's the one that drives Bears to a playoff. I'm going to say a playoff win, or even a wild card win.
I always think, because the MVP is generally a quarterback these days, MVP's become quarterback of the year, hasn't it?
Yeah.
What about McCaffrey?
Well, yeah.
He didn't win it.
No, but he's got the stats and everything.
Yeah, and he still didn't win it. But so because of that, I always think that because the quarterback is going to win MVP, they might not give Rookie of the Year to a quarterback.
I'm going to go with a sort of one out of left field and go with Bo Nix, because I think he's got less to prove. So if he has a half decent season and posts some good numbers, it would be, given the team that he's got to do it with, he would be seen as more of a success than, say, Williams or Daniels, etc. So I'm going to go with Bo Nix.
I like what I've seen of Bo Nix pre-season.
Yeah, very much so.
Pre-season means fuck all, but he can pass it. He's mobile in the pocket. He looks like a decent quarterback. What my concern would be about him is getting flattened every week.
Well, from what I've said, and like you said there, pre-season means nothing. The criticism, if you like, you could probably say it's a strength in some respects, is that he doesn't seem to go through his progressions. He sees somebody open and he throws it. So his passing time he's generally throwing it within about a second and a half, which is all right. Yes, he's not looking at his progressions, but his passes are landing, So, do you need to do more than that? So, like I said, because his threshold to perform is probably a lot lower than everybody else's.
Yeah, there's no expectations on
Exactly.
Broncos.
Yeah. So a think he could have a good season.
I'm just saying, I think he is in danger of becoming a Bryce Young where he has to throw it away quickly. Yeah. Otherwise, he's just going to be getting flattened because last year the Broncos O-line was absolute dog shit. They had, I think for the last 2 years, they've had the most sacks against. So, definitely one of the worst teams for sacks against. Obviously, Russell Wilson, with his aged legs, couldn't get out of the way last year. So that might be something to do with it as well. But I like what I've seen of Bo Nix, actually.
Edgy goes rogue.
Next one. Have we got another one? What are you doing?
Can we add in a category and put in who do you think is going to have the most receiving yards? Who's going to have the most rushing yards?
Oh, that's a dirty. You can't just do that right now.
Oof. I can.
So like wide receiver of the year and running back of the year.
But the metric to decide that is based on yardage.
Based on yards.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as I've sprung it on you, I've obviously got an answer. So I'll go first to give you time to look. So for the receiver, I'm going to go for St. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, because the temptation is to go for CD Lamb, but I don't know. I've just got a feeling he's also a Cowboy, so I can't.
He's got his contract.
Well, yes, there is that. I just think he's going to get battered at some point and miss some games. Did he miss some last season? And he still posted good numbers. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think he went for about 1,500 yards last year.
Great wide receiver.
Yeah. And everything sort of points towards him sort of doing even more this season. So, and my rushing yards, I'm going to go for Breece Hall. I just love him. I think he could be key to getting the Jets to that top spot.
Okay.
Greggles.
Wide receiver yards. I'm going to go for the guy who could have got 2,000 last year, and that's Tyreek Hill. He's at a team that plays to his strengths, which is chucking the ball way past the coverage and just watching the fastest man in the world run after it and catch it. If he avoids injury, I can see him actually getting near 2,000 yards because he was on course for it last year.
Yeah, I'd have been fantasy.
Running back, what are we classing CMC as?
The most yards.
CMC is a running back. If he's drafted as such in fantasy, then he's a running back. This is for rushing yards, not receptions.
Yeah, not combined.
Yeah.
It's just. I was just thinking because he will, half his yards will come as receptions.
Absolutely.
But, okay, because I can see them having a good season again, I'll go for Jahmyr Gibbs, running back.
Also my fantasy last year.
Yeah. Okay, well, my passing one, most receiving yards, all depends on how well he does in week 1 and 2, whether he goes on to have a good season or not. And you brought him up, Edgy, Xavier Worthy. Now, if he can catch the ball to early doors and Mahomes trusts him to throw to long and he keeps bringing these balls in, he's going to have something like 4 catches for 124 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Easily.
Big gamble on that, but I do think he would be up there. But he's got to play well in the first 2 games because if he drops a ball or 2, Mahomes will not look his way.
No one knows if he's going to be good or not. That's what's good about it. That's why he's a great pick. It's a great pick just to not know what's going to happen.
But he's gone basically on pure speed. They've put everything into him to be the next Tyreek Hill. It's fast. He can burn anyone. But can he catch it? We don't know yet. But if he can do it in the first couple of games and gets Mahomes' trust, He's going to be so dangerous.
The thing is, they've got Hollywood Brown who's injured.
Yeah.
And so the really fast bloke who drops everything is unavailable. So there's
to be replaced with another.
Tony's gone, so there is room there for a really fast guy who drops everything.
But mine's going to be McCaffrey, by the way, just because it's McCaffrey.
Right.
Super Bowl champions.
Right, so 2 left. Super Bowl champs. I'll get the boring answer out of the way. I think the Chiefs are going to get the 3-peat. I really do.
Oh, wow, Edgy, that's massive.
Yeah. And I've also put that they beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
I'm
agreeing with Greggles here because I think me and Greggles are going to got the same answer here. We're going to say Panthers, are we?
Even I know that's funny.
Well, I can only accept your first answer.
So put it down.
Only if we agree, that is, of course. I think we're going to got Niners, are we?
I can't see. It'll be one of the worst things ever if this 49ers roster never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What do they need to do to win it?
Stay fit.
Yeah. And score more points than the other team.
From the Chiefs.
Yeah, possibly.
Could it be a repeat, do you think? Of the Super Bowl?
I don't think so. I've always said if Joe Burrow stays fit, I think the Bengals can get to the Super Bowl, and I also think the Jets will be in the AFC Championship game. I'm basing that on Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow not getting injured, which I know is quite clutching at straws perhaps, but I think I'd also prefer to see a 49ers against either of those teams. And the 49ers and Bengals, they got previous in Super Bowl.
Absolutely. But what were a hickey? The hickey shuffle?
Hickey shuffle, yeah.
Yeah.
When the Patriots were winning everything, and were they hated at the time?
Yeah.
So are the Chiefs as hated as them now?
No one's as hated as the Patriots were when the Patriots were winning.
So let's say that the Chiefs go on to win, they get the 3-peat and they win another couple in the next 5 years, 6 years, whatever. Will they be, or was there something just about the Pats that brewed this hatred?
There's a lot to hate about the Pats, wasn't there? Not that just they won everything, but there was also all of the allegations made against them for cheating,
Inflategate and
stuff like that.
Okay.
And I always remember that when they were caught videoing the Jets practice, and I thought,
Elza style.
Yeah, and I just remember thinking, if they're doing that for the Jets, they've clearly been doing it for everyone else and not being caught.
Yeah, I think so. I think I agree with you, Greggles. If they don't win it this time, and they deserve to win it, it's like the best team never to have won a Super Bowl. And it is,
I think so. That's more than those unbeaten going into Super Bowl Patriots. They were never as good as this 49ers team on both sides of the ball.
Phenomenal team.
But they were
with the last Super Bowl, I think they were unlucky because was it Greenwood?
Yeah, went off,
and he comes straight onto the pitch and he tore his Achilles, and you think,
torn anus.
Yeah, and that's it, and that's a look that they were having. He just literally come on.
They lost someone else as well, didn't they? I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, he's too talented.
But they lost 2 players in about the third quarter, I think.
Yeah.
And
one of the best head coaches in the league, because no one can predict what he's going to do. He's got the running back to do whatever he wants to do with. He's got a tight end in Kittle who absolutely loves to block. He loves to block for his running backs.
Fantastic player.
He can catch anything. He loves the game. For me, the question mark for 49ers this year is going to be Brock Purdy. That's the only question mark for Brock Purdy.
MVP.
Right, last category, MVP.
Yeah.
As Dazzla's kind of led me into it, I'm going to go for Brock Purdy. I think they always give it to a quarterback, and I think they'll give it to the quarterback who will rack up shitloads of touchdowns in the team with the best record in football. And I can see it being as simple as that, and that's why it'll go to Brock Purdy. Won't be spectacular, but It will look good on the stat sheet.
So mine one would be going back to it. It's going to be Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Oh, that's nicely segued in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mine, so it would be too easy to go with Mahomes, so I'm going to go with Jordan Love. I think he could have a stellar season because it's generally a quarterback, like we say, that gets it. Outside of the 49ers or Chiefs or Ravens or whatnot, I think he could be the next one. I certainly think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback, but I
do hope so.
I know you do, yeah. I think he's.
Also, Justin says, I'd really like to see that Lions Packers go to the wire. That division and the Bears as well.
Yeah.
The better all 3 of those quarterbacks play, the better that division is.
Weekly predictions.
Shall we end with week 1 predictions?
Yeah, should we just go rattle through these?
Yeah, I think so. We've probably spoken. All my notes have gone now. So
okay, so all we need is a winner from these then. So opening game, Ravens Chiefs.
It's going to be close, but I think I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
I reckon the Ravens will do this one. No, not down to Josh Johnson, but I reckon, despite Josh Johnson, I reckon Ravens will win it because it's not a playoff game.
And I agree.
Okay, and the big Rio game. Is it in Rio? I know it's Brazil.
It is, yeah. Sao Paulo.
Packers at Eagles.
Yeah. At Eagles.
Philadelphia, Sao Paulo. I'm going with the Eagles.
I'm going to go for the Eagles as well.
This is possibly the toughest one to call out of all the games because I don't know what to expect from the Eagles. I'm going to go for the Packers. Steelers at Falcons.
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 Steelers.
Said reluctantly.
Yeah, but the defense might show up, flatten Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
Just needs one on Cousins.
Cardinals at Bills.
Bills.
I'm interested to see the Cardinals this year, but I still think the Bills will take that.
I concur.
Cardinals for Edgy, right?
No, Bills for Edgy.
Titans at Bears.
Bears.
Shall we bother to say Pats against Bengals?
Bengals.
Okay.
If it helps, I think that will be the biggest margin of victory. But that's not a lot of insight going into that.
Edgy just creating new content all the time. He just think will score more. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
I reckon.
Sorry, my notes for this just read Pat's a wank.
I mean, you can't argue with that.
No. I know. Yeah.
Now, after the Packers Eagles being difficult to call, I'm saying Texans at Colts.
Massive game. This.
Oh, this is
I mean, this could be week 1. Decide the division.
Yeah. And Colts are at home, so that's the interesting one. So if Colts lose that one to the Texans, that's a big kick up the arse, is that?
I'm going Colts. Even though I think the Texans will win the division, I think the Colts will win this game.
I'm going for the Texans.
Oh, I think it's week 1. I think Richardson will be at his prime. I'm going to go for Colts as well. I'm still at home.
Yeah. Jags at Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Hang on. Yeah, Dolphins. Dolphins. Right. Apparently, Miami rarely lose a home game in September.
Okay. What I'm going to call early on a basement battle. Panthers against Saints.
Oh, the wank ball, as it's also known as.
The toss ball.
Pass it around.
I mean, I can't see the Saints losing at home to the Panthers, so I'll go for the Saints.
I'm Saints.
So I've gone for the Saints, saying they've got their home record should see them through.
Yeah.
But I've also put, if it was on Match of the Day, it'd be last.
Yes.
I don't think it would be, because Vikings at Giants, two teams with no quarterback.
Well, you see, I'm in the Daniel Jones camp, so I don't subscribe to that. Giants are going to win for me, but I've already said I think
Giants are going to win for you. Oh, look at you.
Yeah,
Wrapped up in self-importance.
I know, sorry.
This is for Edgy.
That's it. Yeah. But I think they're going to win.
I think this is one of the few games the Giants will win this season. There won't be many. I reckon there's like probably 3 or 4, but the Vikings have got nothing from what I can tell.
The Vikings. Throw the ball up to Justin Jefferson.
Sam Darnold, his new quarterback.
Yeah.
He's not very good, is he?
No.
He's never played for anybody good, has he?
Underrated.
Next.
Raiders at Chargers.
Right. The last game between them, Las Vegas won 63-21.
Yes.
With that in mind, I'm going for a Chargers win.
Makes sense.
I think the Chargers will be improved this year, and I think they will beat the Raiders.
So you're going Chargers as well?
Yeah.
Just me then going to go for Las Vegas. Imagine if you win that last season and you get beat this season. That's such a turnaround.
But wasn't that one of those? Yeah, but last year the Broncos lost 70-20 to the Dolphins and then beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's I know. But I'm still going for LV.
Okay, talking to the Broncos at Seattle.
Seahawks
for me.
Seahawks for me also.
Seahawks, I think they're okay.
Yeah.
I believe it's called the Come On Cleveland Derby. Cowboys at Cleveland.
I'm going for the Browns, not just because they're facing Dallas. Well, it is mainly because they're facing Dallas. But
That's enough.
Yeah. Browns got good defense. Might be able to keep them out. Also got a good home record, and Cowboys are clowns. I've put so.
Well, Deshaun Watson is fit to start a season. Yeah. He needs a good season. Yeah, I reckon the Browns will take this.
Who would have thought coming into this? Right, no one are going for Cowboys. Who would have thought that?
So they will do that. And from the same division as the Dallas Cowboys, Washington Commanders at Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'll let Daz answer this first.
No, I've gone Bucks. I think we'll do well at home. Under our new, we're not FedEx Field anymore. We are called the Northwest Field. That's where we're playing. So
is that after somebody's child?
Maybe. So Washington at home for me, away from home, maybe not so much. So Bucks for me.
I think Bucks.
I've gone with the Bucks as well.
Yes,
Heisman winners on both sides. Daniels has been impressive in pre-season. Not going to be enough.
No, it's not.
These are two teams I can see having similar records come the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a couple of bangers to finish with. We got the Rams at the Lions.
Good game. Good guy.
Is that Frank Spencer?
Lions for me, Jeff.
Lions for Edgy.
Lions for me, Clive.
Yeah, Lions for me as well. Being at home as well.
Yeah. And the final game, Jets at 49ers.
49ers for me.
Game of the week for me, I've put. All
really?
going to be, all
Game
going
of
to
the week, that's a strong one, Edgy, that.
I know, yeah. Because I'm putting a lot of faith in the Jets' resurgence this year. Okay. I know the 49ers are going to win it, so 49ers obviously is my answer, but I think it's not going to be the walkover of previous seasons, shall we say.
I'm going 49ers on this as well, but I think it would be much tastier if it was being played in New York.
Yes, I agree. But it's not, so there.
Why is that?
Just home advantage for the Jets, I reckon. Right, okay. Big deal. But it's not. It's West Coast, and I think the 49ers will win
I remember
it.
east to west is always the best.
What, that it's better when you get to the west?
No, someone once said that, and I don't know who it was, and it made no sense then.
Well, was it the same person who came up with never eat shredded wheat?
Yeah, I think it was as well.
Because that was a
Naughty
handy,
elephant, squirt water.
never eat shredded wheat is a handy mnemonic because I've never eaten shredded wheat. It just looks
Never
terrible.
eat shredded wank. That's another thing.
How do you eat a shredded wank? How do you shred a wank?
through one of those mincers. You know what cuts ham? Mince slice ham.
That does. I think you should see a doctor if that's.
Meg slicer. I think that's probably a good point to leave it for this week. Yeah.
qbscpod@gmail.com